In addition to the physical and emotional impacts, what would you like to share about what you have learned from being disabled and what character changes have evolved within you since you were disabled?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is patience, because you can't do things as rapidly as you did before if you can do them at all. If you can't do it one way, maybe you can do it another way. So you learn how to cope, and that's very important.
Senator, it's said the attitudes of others are often the greatest barrier people with disabilities face. What can we do to change that?
I think it's changing. You know, it wasn't too many years ago when the company came, you put the disabled in the back room, or you kind of kept them hidden. And if you saw a wheelchair coming down the street, you'd duck into a store or across the street just to avoid meeting them, because it wasn't because you didn't care for them, you didn't know what to say. And what you say is, hello, how you doing? You know, it's normal conversation. But I think we're making strides. I mean, I can see it as I move around. There's more interaction between disabled, non-disabled, and disabled people are now right up front. They've got their own groups, just as you have Chimes. You know, there are all kinds of disabled groups that are making a difference in this country.
You've said the passage of the ADA was one of America's finest moments. Do you feel we have enabled it to live up to its full potential?
Well, we're working on it. I think it's been a great piece of legislation. It was bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats working together. I remember working with Ted Kennedy, who was always well prepared. He had a good staff, and he was a great contributor to the ADA. And it was very contentious. I mean, some people thought we're going too far, we're going to put people out of business. And my answer was, the disabled are consumers, but they can't buy anything if they can't get into the store. And so we had access and little things like cutouts in the curb so you could cross the street. Before, somebody in a wheelchair, if they were by themselves and wanted to go to a cleaning shop or grocery store, they couldn't make the curb unless somebody came along to help them. And so, you know, we've got a long way to go, but we're still the leader in the world as far as addressing disability issues.
Under your leadership, members of Congress often found ways to reach across the aisle and get past the partisanship. Compromise was not seen as a dirty word. How do we get to recreate a climate where those with differing views can still find a middle ground and achieve the common good?
Well, it's difficult these days because, you know, Congress is split right down the middle. You've got the Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other. They don't seem to want to work together. You just don't get any results, whether it's disability legislation or whatever it might be. And, you know, it's not what people want. Most people are in the middle. They want to get things done. They know there's some things that can't be compromised. They also know that they've made compromises in their private lives, and that compromise is not a bad word. So I hope that we'll return to the day when we can reach across the aisle both ways and come together on the issues.
Why is the International Treaty on Disabilities important to Americans and the world?
Well, the International Disability Treaty is important because anybody traveling overseas would be protected against discrimination. 139 countries have ratified the treaty, and we're going to vote on it July 21st. And right now we're at least 2 votes short. So we're working on a pool of about 10 senators trying to figure out how we can get 3 or 4 of those to support it. But it's very important. You know, people with disability like to travel too. And they like to know when they arrive in some foreign country that there are certain things that they can do without any discrimination, whether it's lodging, whether it's shopping, whatever it might be.
Does the United States remain a bellwether leader in advancement of rights for the disabled, or has another nation superseded us?
I think we're miles ahead. We've had the Russians over here. I remember when I was still in the Senate to see how we did it. And other countries since then have taken a look at the ADA and other disability legislation. But there's no doubt about it, the United States is the leader when it comes to disability issues and caring for the disabled.
What can Chimes do to make passage of the treaty a reality?
Oh, make personal visits. There's nothing like a personal visit from an organization like Chimes that would have an impact on senators who are still undecided, and even some of those who say they're against, say, the treaty. But, you know, most disability groups don't have money to hire a high-powered lobbyist, and so they need to do it themselves. And I think it's very effective. It's more effective than having some lobbyists go in whose only interest is a client.
Senator, is there anything else we haven't asked that you'd like to share with the people of Chimes?
Well, I deal a lot with people with disabilities and disability issues, not as clients, but pro bono. And, you know, they're just genuine, good people. And we just need to get more people involved. Although, as I said earlier, I think that's happening, because you're going to have an event. There's going to be a lot of people come who aren't disabled, who are going to recognize and realize the importance of caring for these people, helping these people, helping them get a job. Now, many of yours have jobs in the Pentagon and other places, but you know, disabled people are like everyone else. They want to work, they want a family, you know, they want to have a normal life as possible.